Welcome back to another video. This time we're looking at XRP. Usually I begin the videos drawing out zones and lines and levels. This time I'm going to jump straight into EngineeringRobo to understand what it's telling us. Essentially, should we be taking profits right now? I would say yes, and I'll give you the reasons why. AI intelligence score, green 5, that is the best score that you can get in terms of sentiment across the internet. Smart money is in, all the timelines are bullish, volume in terms of 24-hour volume is normal, and the volatility is above 14%. If you look at other cryptos, you can see that their volatility percentage is usually at the moment less than 5%. Correlation to Bitcoin, if one is perfectly correlated, XRP is just over half. You don't really see this in crypto in the sense that you're so far removed away from being directly correlated to Bitcoin, which is why I think you should be taking profits now. So if you're a swing trader and not in love with XRP and you bought in around the levels of 40 cents, 49 cents, 50 or anything lower than that, let's say 44, 40, and even way back here. Anyway, so that was in April. So if we take this leg up from November, where we got the initial buy signal, we don't currently have a sell signal just yet. But there are a couple of telltale signs that we want to be very concerned about. First of all, these grey candles. Now, if you've seen my other videos, I always talk about the grey candles where we have a shift of momentum. We can see that it's pretty much, if Raoul Paul was talking, a banana zone straight up there, right? We've lost that momentum. Price has been consolidating from these zones and price has broken out. Now, there's consensus across the internet that there will be a pullback on Bitcoin, but because this isn't correlated to Bitcoin, not as much as we would expect, should we be taking profit? I want to bring some other points of interest that EngineeringRobo is telling us. Let's start with something that you have seen in my other videos. So the orange support and resistance lines. Let's switch off the dashboard. We've seen that. That's also why we're looking at that. Look at the AI take profit signal. So this indicator has got over 1,500 lines of code in terms of what it's tracking and the numbers of parameters it's pushing and passing. So we had our early take profit signal on, let me say the amount first. So that was around the 226 price point, which would have seen a 283% gain if you bought in from November, beginning of November, November the 8th. Right, so that's almost like a 3x there for a few months. Not a bad swing trade. Now, the fact that we are at these orange resistance zones is highly problematic for me in the sense that price is at its extreme. If you haven't taken profit, definitely size down and be considering taking profit right now. So these lines as well have been made up from previous price action, Fibonacci extensions, mixed with other calculations that determine the best and buy sell levels, which brings me on to a point of the best buy and sell levels. So just before I switch that on, we currently don't have a AI sell signal. But the fact that we've got an AI take profit, volume is fading, and price is at its highest point, that should make you consider your position. Right, the best buy and sell levels. I've shown this in a few of my other videos. Not something that I use extensively, so much so because the best levels have actually already been surpassed. But what this indicator does show us is where and why we should be taking profits. So let me actually switch off the flags here, and just focus in a little bit on this, and then I'll compare it to Bitcoin and just to give you an idea in terms of comparison. Right, so when we're looking at this coin, the best buy and sell levels is always around the price that's under this gray line, and it shades it in when it's green. So this is almost like when fear is at its lowest, this is when we want to be entering in. So smart money usually is getting in at around this price point, and you can see historically it's always captured the real values of every price move. So on a bigger time frame, this type of buy and sell level is perfect for a swing or an investment trade if you were going to hold this coin. Now, putting that on the flip side, this is the FOMO line, the red line at the top. So this is again based on certain calculations and where one should be taking profit. Now, it has broken through the red line, and even on its second touch, it's almost doing the same. So I would certainly be looking to rotate out of this coin and keep it some USDT, USDC aside for either a pullback or potentially reinvesting into something else. You don't need to close your full position. We don't have an AI sell signal just yet on the daily, but something to certainly be considering. So it's completely overextended. And yeah, if you're not in love with XRP and you are holding it as a trade, then the fact that we are at a round number of $3 as well, we're going to need a huge push to get it over and above that. And with BTC showing signs of weakness in the sense of breaking and staying above the 100K mark, it will take a bit of a momentum for XRP to continue moving up. So certainly reduce your exposure, not financial advice, of course. So let me bring up BTC so that you can see the buy and sell levels. This is from a recording from the other day. It's in the playlists on BTC, so do check that out. So if I am looking at the green buy and sell levels, the indicator has really picked up the best time when to have bought BTC. So we are looking at prices between 38 and as low as 15. The indicator had worked out when to do that. And if we go way back then, even at 3,800 and above. So that gives you an indication. On the previous bull runs, it correctly identified the FOMO levels. Obviously, this has been all back tested and calculated in terms of price action and movement. That's how we get the FOMO line. In terms of price action, February 2021, top was called in on the first time, second time, and then that's when the volume started to peter out. You can see the volumes in terms of color changing of the candles and then going back down into red. So let's fast forward now in terms of where we are looking, or where is Bitcoin on the FOMO or take profit levels. So I would say, looking at the indicator, not financial advice, of course, 99K we are at. So in this cycle, right now, if price is continuing going up, obviously this FOMO line does take into current price action and would either dip down or start trending up depending on volume. But currently, right now, we are projected that this cycle will end around 230K. So there's a lot of speculation of when the highs will be in. We think in terms of the community of EngineeringRobo AI that we are probably about 2/3 of the way there. So under half at the moment. We know that when Bitcoin starts moving, it can really move. So that's an indication of where we think, or the indicator thinks, that the price could go. Hope you found that useful. Watch out for my future videos.